It's Monday, and it's time for three men and a microphone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You're right. Now, I've just thought to run into the room, and I've got to go and get something. So bear with me.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Right, won't be a sec.
That.
I didn't come here to hear swear words like that.
Cunty bollocks.
Oh, sorry. I forgot something. I forgot my drink. So yes, hello.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, he's bladdered already, isn't he?
Yes, some people would say I'm getting a sports car tomorrow, but anyway.
Oh,
For God's
God
Is your
almighty.
penis that small? I didn't even think it was. So there you go. So,
Clearly it is.
I might be getting a Mazda MX-5. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
If we're all doing top trumps, by the way, just to let you know, I now drink Budweiser as well as JD.
On your podcast feed, on your radio, and on your smart speaker. This is Three Men and a Microphone from These Three Media.
Hello, welcome to episode 89 of Three Men and a Microphone from These Three Media. Welcome to the Unpredictable Conversation. My name is Ian Barstow. I am joined today by Damian. Hello.
Hello, you. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm all right, but I had a bit of an accident doing the old manscaping. So, yeah. Bit sore, actually.
Is it itchy?
I want to say it's itchy. It was just one of those ones where you kind
Did you
of...
flip?
I nibbed it. Yeah,
Oh.
nibbed it. Yeah.
A bit of a bleed.
There was a little bit of a gush.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a gush just in the crevice, between the leg.
Damian, Darren, thank you. Hello, how are you?
Just on that, when you nick the extra skin that holds the play balls, then that won't stop bleeding that bad boy, will it? When you nick that,
A bit of tissue paper. It's fine.
is that what you're talking about? No.
I was on the back of my head.
Oh, I thought you meant your scrotum.
Bloody pervert.
Lovely, thank you. Coming up on today's show, we are joined by a very special guest for a show that hopefully you watched last night if you're listening to this on the day of release. We are joined by Mr. Stephan Bessant, who is going to be in Peaky Blinders.
Hang on. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you're not on yet. Go on.
No, how long have I known you? I mean, since you were scraping up from hospital radio and making something of yourself when you're not even named what you are now, and you still get my name wrong to this day. Things I know about you. Get my name wrong again, I will release everything.
He's in
Can't wait for that.
He's in Peaky Blinders, and he thinks he's some precious actor now. Get him.
I love it.
We will have Steph on later to talk about all things Peaky Blinders Series 6, the last one ever. And that's coming up later on in the show, plus much more. Let's start the unpredictable conversation around about now. So yeah, coming up on the show later on, we have someone who's a friend of the show, and at the weekend there was a very good program. Saturday Night Takeaway was back, wasn't it, Darren?
It was, yes. I'm glad you threw it over to me because, for one, I am the biggest Ant and Dec fan. I don't think they've ever done nothing bad on telly, apart from Red or Black.
Can I just say Colin hates them?
What?
Yes, hates them with a passion.
Hang on, I got a message for Colin. What's wrong with you, man? You need to see a doctor about that.
Pinky and Perky, he calls them, and he hates them. Hates them with a passion. Anyway. I know.
I'm
I can't
speechless.
believe it. I don't believe it either.
Anyway, they're back. The format is most definitely Noel's House Party, but for the modern era, right? All the features in there are Noel's House Party. You remember NTV, where Noel used to click his fingers? They've got that. They've got great prizes. The delivery.
Its day, that was, wasn't it?
Eh?
To do NTV back in the day. So advanced in the 90s.
Yeah,
because
they're still doing it now.
It wouldn't have been over the internet. They would have had to get a cable in and plug a camera in.
Yeah.
So just talking about some of the features Ant and Dec had on Saturday night. So they had where they go to people's houses and people can win holidays and they give away all those holidays. It's great. Their version of the gotcha Right, remember the gotcha that Noel used to have, but their version is they just wind people up, don't they? Right.
The Lionel Blair stare. I remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah, and but then this week they had Jeremy Clarkson.
Jeremy Clarkson. That was very, very funny.
Very good.
He was moody.
He was. But then again,
wouldn't you be if someone tipped a massive part of
you
dirt
would
over your car?
yeah.
You would,
I wonder how they got that sorted, because they're not going to leave him with a knackered Range Rover, are they?
No. We both said that,
and
but also we were saying how he's punching as well, because his missus is all right.
She's hot.
It would have been. It wouldn't have been like it would have been your proper, your bagged soil. There would have been no big bits in it. It'd be fine.
So what? They just hoover it up and that's it.
Yeah, they'd have washed his car.
Fair enough. Anyway, but the other thing they did at the end of the show. Bear with me with this for a second. Declan has worn heels before.
He probably has.
Because me and my wife were saying, even my wife said, to dance like that in heels and move like that in heels, you've got to be used to and comfortable in heels.
Yes.
Because he looked a bit too supple.
Can I also ask with that one? Because obviously we were talking, we've talked before about telly and the magic of telly and stuff. Obviously that's live. Now there are bits that they do before. So was the end of the show must have been filmed previously?
Yes, because you can tell because when you watch it, it's got live in the corner.
They took that off.
Yeah, they took that off. So that end of the show would have been filmed probably about an hour before they went live, because it would have taken that makeup would probably take them 2 hours, 3 hours to put on.
If you listen to the start of on Saturday Night Takeaway the other week when it started, and actually says, I'm looking forward to sitting back and watching it myself this time, makes a change. They did actually refer to the fact that it's already been done.
They'd have to, because there'd be no way they could put that makeup in the
I was going to say, because I didn't notice the live thing, because we were both like, and my other half was like, oh, maybe that was filmed like before. And I was like, how would they have done that? So you don't think it was the end of the last? No. I think it was.
No, it wasn't. It would have been done at the. It couldn't have been at the end because the winners of Drag Race UK wouldn't have been decided. So it would have been done probably about an hour before they started the main show. It's like Strictly. When they do Strictly, the band stuff that they do is all pre-recorded.
Yes, I know that, yeah.
But yeah, so just to give a bit of premise for people that don't know what we're talking about. So on Saturday night, it was RuPaul was doing the announcer bit for Ant and Dec, and they had the 3 winners of Drag Race UK on there.
Which I didn't know the third one, because I haven't got to the end of the season. Cheers.
Spoilers. It's been on ages.
Great figure, though.
Oh, yeah. So they did this, and they did a proper new single, which is out now. You can go and download it. It's all in aid of the Higgins Trust, I believe, which is an AIDS foundation. And they did this big dance number, and they all came, Ant and Dec came out in drag, and they looked amazing.
So good.
Fabulous.
So good. That show, and I'm with Darren now, and I watch it with my family. Doesn't it make Saturday night so good?
Superb.
There's just one thing, though. Fleur East. I can't be the only one that's just...
No, she's got to go.
She's not very good, is she?
Bring back, what's her name? Bless her. Yeah.
Andy Peters. How much does he get paid to stand in a restaurant and go for 2 seconds and go, call this number and you can win £35,000?
And the camper van.
My daughter couldn't get over the fact that I used to watch him introduce TV programs. And she was like, but he looks really big. I said, he's a bodybuilder in real life, which he is. He's on all of the GQ and stuff. He's a good looking guy.
Do you know what one of his other businesses is?
He's an escort agency.
No, it's not an escort agency. He's a model agency. He runs a model agency for male models.
Yeah. He's minted.
Only male models. He was also the producer of Top of the Pops and T4.
Did he ever work on Radio 1 at one time?
He created T4. He created T4.
Sorry, created T4. Yes, I don't think he's ever done Radio 1, but he is a big person on Chris Moore's. He's on there all the time. Andy Peters. Anyway. So,
legend. Absolute legend.
And before we move on, RuPaul, I can't work out. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. You don't need to whisper, mate. We're on a podcast.
No, but it's a bit embarrassing. I can't work out if RuPaul is a man or a woman.
It's a man, you fool.
Oh, my God. Did you just ask that?
Yes, because
RuPaul is...
He was very effeminate. And I'm going, that's a woman.
just because he's effeminate doesn't mean he's a woman. He is the biggest drag queen in the world, and drag.
I know he had a hit with Elton John, Breaking My Heart, in the 90s.
Drag is it's like most drag artists are male into female. You do get some that are female drag artists, but most are male. He's definitely a man.
Okay.
But he's fabulous. He's absolutely
phenomenal legs.
Honestly, Dave, I know you don't watch Drag Race, Darren, but Damien, Drag Race versus the World is...
Haven't seen it yet.
It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Do you know what? During lockdown as well, that program just put so much light into my life. And someone that loves the scene, and my best friend's gay. It's just it's just, if you want some sunshine, go and watch Drag Race, because it's bloody brilliant.
It is amazing.
But Darren, do you know what? Saturday Night Takeaway, it's amazing. Stephen Mulhern, I can't believe I worked with him. It's amazing. It's brilliant. I worked with him at Disney.
Yeah, we've done the Disney story. That's when he got fired because he drank all of the minibar at the hotel and cost the channel a fortune.
Let's move on.
Coming up next, we will be talking to Steph Bessant, who is in Peaky Blinders, the big guests on the Unpredictable Conversation. That's coming up next.
Clean edit. I'm even doing the captain's job for him now. From these three media, this is the Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
If you're a fan of the show, you know this music. First broadcast in 2013, and it has just started its sixth and final series last night. Set in Birmingham during the 1920s, it follows the gangster family of the Shelbys and stars Cillian Murphy as Thomas Shelby. We will get on to the fact it is Cillian Murphy later on in the interview, I am sure. It is now a worldwide phenomenon, and we are very lucky to be joined by friend of the show and also a star in this series of Peaky Blinders. We're not bigging him up at all. It is Mr. Stephan Bessant. Hello!
Hello!
Hey.
Oh, you got the name right. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
I did. I got your name right.
How are you, Steph?
I'm good. It's nice to thank you for inviting me. It's all very lovely. Thank you.
Yes, welcome to Three Men and a Microphone. As you, welcome.
That's me. Yes, I was thinking, what does it take to get me on the show? Who do I need to sleep with? Now I know.
Yeah, you do. You need to be on a high-rating international success that is Peaky Blinders.
Yes. Gosh.
Well done on getting it.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you. It was a bit of a trial getting it, but yes, thank you.
When you got the call, what was that like when they said, did you get the call from your agent to take it?
Oh, well, yes, I did. Well, I got the call twice, basically. I'll tell you what happened, because I auditioned. Well, it was a self-tape, and this was before.
Just express a self-tape for me, Steph.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Well, self-tape is, which is big now, obviously, because of pandemic. It's an audition that an actor will do straight to camera, record it, and then send it off.
Right. Okay.
So instead of being there in person, they get given the script, or sides, as they're called.
Look at you with the lingo.
Yeah, sides.
Sides.
And we film it for the camera like this, and do a couple of takes, edit it together, and then we send it off. So they look at it that way. So that's what a self-tape is. So I did a self-tape for another part on Peaky Blinders, and it was a really lovely part as well. And this was before pandemic. This was before we knew lockdown was coming. And it was for he didn't have a name. He was the head waiter at the Ritz, and it was a smashing scene, a couple of scenes, because he was actually a snitch for Arthur. Okay, one of the main parts in Peaky Blinders, and I was spying for him, and I had a whole big scene with Arthur to do, and I was really looking for and yeah, like you said, Daz, I got the call, and I was absolutely psyched. I thought, oh my god, I'm going to be a Peaky Blinders. This is going to be amazing. Pandemic happened, literally a big full lockdown, all film sets closed, and I was due to film like in 2 weeks' time when it was all announced. And they said, we're going to put it off for a couple of months, because we only thought it was going to be a couple of months. And then that got further. And in the end, they cut the role completely, because it was too intimate with the actor, Arthur, because I was going to be right next to him, like face to face with Paul. And they cut the part completely. We're really sorry. Deal with it. And so, but about 3 or 4 months later, they contacted my agent and said, look, this other part's come up. It's not as big as the other part, but it's more filming, and so I said, well, what is it? And they said, yeah, could we just do a screen test with you, i.e. just could you read this line out for us so we know you can walk and talk and don't fall over the phone at the same time? And I did. Could you do it in mild Brummie? Yes, I can. So I did that. I sent it off, and basically by return of email, they went, yeah, you're in. So watch this space. And I was told I was going to be on set for a week. And that's when they announced that I now play George, Tommy Shelby's butler.
Hey, and when did you film? When was this filmed? When
I did 5 days last February. So yeah, a year ago, and then I did 1 day last May. So I did 6 days in all.
And is that was in Birmingham, and that was at the?
It wasn't Birmingham. No, it was Arley Hall in Crewe. And that's what you can see behind me. That's why I put this picture there for you.
Yes, I was going to say.
This is the main dining room in Arley Hall in Crewe. And that's where I spent majority of my time. So I thought I'd give you that picture.
And that's Thomas Shelby's house.
That's his house, because you can see, let me move. You can see there.
Yes, with the horse.
Yes.
So he's rich now, isn't he? He's sort of he's
doing all right.
Taken over the criminal world, and he's very, very powerful.
Politics. He's a politician. He's dabbled in politics as well. Don't forget. So yes, he's moving and shaking his way up really rather well. So yes.
Now, obviously, I'm already hearing tidbits of this. So now I know he's rich. Great. I'm guessing I'll get there. Obviously, Steph, we've got listeners that listen into Australia, America, and just for people that may not have come across Peaky Blinders before, which is a very small minority, which I'm one of them, actually. Tell us a little bit about the premise of the program, what it's about, and why you think it's become this absolute juggernaut of a success story.
It's a great question, because it's for want of a better word, it's the classic story of somebody small that's worked their way up and become a success. It's the classic underdog story, really, to sound a bit Hollywood and daft. But it's about a family, the Shelbys, that lived in crappy back-to-backs in the middle of Birmingham, just doing what they could and it's all gangs, street gangs and stuff, and just assaulting their power from street to street, getting bigger and bigger. And you got Tommy, you've got Arthur, of course, and you got Polly, and they're the three, and Ada, that's the family, and they just they rule the streets, and they just get bigger and bigger. They get involved in bigger gangsters. It's been described like Gangs in New York. It's very similar. It's a Birmingham version of Gangs in New York, the Leo DiCaprio film. That's what it is, and it just gets bigger and bigger with each series. And series 5, he was in politics as well, get involved with characters like Oswald Mosley, having meetings with Winston Churchill, and it's go on, sorry. It's
very loosely based on a real family,
yes,
called the Shelbys, who were in Birmingham at around the same time. It's probably one of those inspired by that family, but it is based on sort of they were a criminal gang around that time, weren't they?
Well, there's a book that if you're really into it, interested in it, written by an amazing guy called Carl Chin, the Chinn, and it's called The Real Peaky Blinders. And he's a massive, he's a Birmingham historian. I've worked with him a few times, and it's brilliant. And that'll tell you all about it. So yeah. So the reason it's a success is it's because the people are getting it. The actors are the finest this planet's ever had, I think. You got in early days, you got Sam Neill. Now you got Cillian Murphy, of course. Cillian, you got Paul, and you got Sophie Rundle, who plays Ada, who's I think is amazing. So yeah.
What? Tom Hardy's been in it as well, hasn't he?
Tom Hardy popped his head in. Yes, he was in one episode in it. Yeah,
you can imagine him being in it. He's got that kind of that aura.
He plays a Jewish gangster, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic. He is brilliant.
What it is he's fantastic.
That's a very good impression. That's
brilliant.
Impression.
But no, he's great. I mean, I didn't get to meet him, sadly. But yes, he I don't know if he's in 6 or not, but because they're keeping a few surprises back. But I didn't get to meet him.
So what year is it based in? I mean, obviously we think of gangsters and we think of the UK and some of the, what we mentioned, the actor that was in Legend, which was about the craze.
Yes.
So is it around that same era, or is it before?
Late 20s, and Series 6 is 1933.
So it starts just after First World War, I think. It's about 1918, the first series, and then it goes up to
just following it in almost real time. Really, every new series is kind of how many years it was after. So now it's early 30s now.
Much before the craze, then.
Oh, much. Yes, absolutely. But one thing it is. And my partner, she's not been a fan of it until now because we went to see the premiere.
Because you're in it.
Well, no, we went to see the first episode a few weeks ago. No, but if you don't like violence, you might just avoid at all costs, I think, because it is quite violent, but it's acted superbly. Yeah.
I saw something on social media actually, because I obviously follow your social media, and you had the screening. Now, in terms of, is this quite a big thing for the series and the press, or is it just something the actors get to go to? How does that work?
No. Well, they had the screening I went to was cast and crew, so no press, no nothing. It's just cast and crew. So it's a nice little private do in Manchester. And actually, last Thursday in Birmingham, they had the big red carpet premiere, and that was invited celebrities. The cast was there, apart from Killian. He didn't go, sadly, and Paul wasn't there either because they're both filming. But they had the big press and reviews screening last Thursday in Birmingham.
Now, can I talk about Cillian Murphy?
Yes.
Cillian Murphy, sorry. I'll get his name right.
It's all right.
You know what I'm like with names. I'm rubbish with names. But he's one of those actors that, first of all, when you hear him speak in his normal everyday language, accent, he's completely different to most of the characters he plays. But he is one of those that you wouldn't normally sort of say is a beautiful looking person, but he has got something about him where he is, in that role particularly, he's just sent lots of women's hearts and lots of men's hearts.
Not a dry seat in the house, is there? Let's be honest.
No, because he is, I don't know what it is about him. There's something about him that is just like bad boy sexiness.
Well, it's charisma, isn't it? I mean, he really does ooze charisma in anything he does. I mean, like in Quiet Place 2, he's fantastic, and he's got this big bushy beard and all his long hair. But he just oozes charisma. He really does, and he's a striking, and he's really charming as well. I mean, he's insanely charming. But yeah, I can see the.
Can you see why people like me go for him?
Do you like him? Do you like him? I've touched him. I have.
Have you touched him? Can I come and touch you because you've touched him?
just on the Cillian Murphy thing there, Steph, by the way, his accent when you hear him in interviews is very strong Irish, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So during rehearsals and filming and outtakes and stuff, did he slip into his native Irish tongue, or did he just switch it on Brummy Irish?
He did. He really did. Yeah, it's a great question. He because on the first day I was there on the Monday morning, I was absolutely terrified because it's Cillian Murphy, and it's silly because he's only a bloody human being, he's only doing a job like the rest of us. But I was really nervous, and I stood there being my butler, just waiting to see what we were going to be doing. And he was about a couple of meters away from me, and we sort of caught each other's eye, and he sort of wandered over and he goes, "Hey, how are you doing? You all right?" I went, "Oh, hello. I'm going to be your butler this season." "Oh, great, thank you. Welcome to the family. How are you doing?" "Oh, Cillian, by the way." He told me he was Cillian. And it's like, "I'm Cillian. Oh, I'm Stephan, pleased to meet you." "Oh, great. Well, I hope you have a good time." And and perfect, beautiful. I know he does jazz on the radio, doesn't he? And he's got this beautiful little. And so there you go. And then he would give him a couple of seconds, and he's like, "Right, I'll tell you what now. All right, and I'll tell you this." And he's just straight into his.
I would have melted. I think I would have melted if he'd have come up to me and said that in his Irish accent, because I just would have gone, oh.
We talked about his, because at the time I was going to get a dog, which didn't work out, sadly. But I was talking to him about it because I know he's got a black lab, and he was really sad because of the situation. There was no travel at the time. Last February, no one was traveling, so he couldn't go home. So he said he used to go home every weekend to be with his family and the dog, but he's not seen his dog for over a year, he said, because he's been trapped in England. So he's a smashing fella. Yes, but no, the answer to your question, no, he never broke out of the accent once, not once, when the cameras was rolling anyway.
Do you find? I mean, you're living your best life at the moment. I mean, again, you're a friend of the show. You're part of the family. In terms of you and people listening to this podcast who might be aspiring actors, who might want to maybe look at drag or different things like that, what was your journey, Steph, and how did you kind of start in your journey into the world of acting and showbiz, darling?
Dress up, as my girlfriend calls it. I dress up. That's what I do for a living. This April. April 2022. I've been acting for half my life. 25 years ago, I left drama school. It's April '97. I left drama school, and I'm far too.
How old are you?
I turned 50 last year.
No,
I know, right?
Really?
I know.
Honestly,
I know.
Jeez,
You're really good on that, mate.
Darren looks like your granddad. Oh my God.
I'm not just
We've got the same hair.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that just to sort of, big you up, but I didn't realise you were almost 50,
I wouldn't put you down as that at all.
51 in 3 weeks' time. But I'm quite because I had to pay for a lot of my drama school myself because I only got 3/4 grant, so it cost me an awful lot of money. I was stubborn enough I told myself I will never give up acting. I will never give up performing. I will always keep going with it. So I did, and I did TIE, which is theatre and education. I did an awful lot of that, which is touring schools with plays and stuff. Did a couple of adverts, early doors. But yeah, an awful lot of time I wasn't in work. And so I set up my own companies, doing my own productions and murder mysteries and whatnot. And I was always told at drama school by my principal, Mr. Jago, because he did this with this one session with us one time. He was going doing on-the-spot casting. So he'd go, "Oh, you'll always be the leading man. You'll always be the." And he got to me and went, "You're not going to work until you're in your mid to late 40s. It's like, oh, great. But he's right, because I'm worked more now, late 40s now, than I ever have before. So, but my journey's been, I'm just stubborn. I've just done a lot, like I say, a lot of theatre and education, a lot of jobs when you're not acting, of course, cleaning and various other jobs I've done. And you mentioned drag.
Do you do drag?
I do drag, yes.
You
might have met... do you know a lady called Tina Biscuit?
You're Tina? You're Tina?
Yes, that's me.
No.
I should have bought a wig.
I didn't know.
Yes, it's true. Yes. Tina was created for a soap opera called Doctors. And I played her year before, wasn't it? 2020. So May 2020, she appeared into the world. I've been doing her ever since. But before Tina, I'd done 3 other drags on the screen. So I just got this. I don't know. I've started getting typecast as drags as well. So it was nice to not be in drag for Peaky, because that would have been a bit weird. Johnny Dogs would have had me over the table. But it's been hard. But I've never given it up, and that's why Tina came about, because of.
So you play George.
I do.
I'm just going to. I'll put this up in the video for people that can see. But that is the picture that Steph sent me.
Oh wow!
That is his, with the
I wouldn't
wig.
recognise you.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
With the wig, which is probably. I looked and I cannot see where it's blended in. It's a very good makeup. So that is you.
Wow.
Yes, that was real hair. That's a real hair wig, and that was put on by an absolutely wonderful makeup artist called Chris Mann, and he's the most nicest, kindest, most genial, lovely man. If you go on my Insta, if you go back a couple, you'll see at the screen, you'll see Chris on there, and he's brilliant. And we took about an hour or so, just over an hour, just putting the wig on alone, because that's been stuck very carefully and glued on, and yeah.
So a typical day. So you're on set for a week or so to do your, and you're in every episode. I think as far as you know,
I'm in the new series. This is not a spoiler. I mean, it's I'm in 3 episodes.
Okay, yeah. So you're in
the first
3
one, and I think 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. One of the 2. Yeah.
So you're there for a week.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the filming, and I've seen a couple of things filmed. And Damian's he's done Disney, and he's done some TV stuff and all that sort of stuff, hasn't he? And it takes a long time to film TV and film. It's a long process. So how much actual filming do you get in the can in a day?
Oh gosh, do you know what? In a day, because I'm sat in the green room an awful lot anyway, and they'll just call down one actor now and again because they want to do something over their shoulder, or they just want to do a reaction shot or whatever. Probably in a full day, 12-hour day or whatever, they probably get about less than an hour filmed.
Okay, so that's quite. So I there was a TV show filmed by us, which was based on not the happiest thing. It was based on on the Hungerford shootings, but it was filmed in Redditch at the time, and just up from us, they were using a house. And I stood outside while they were doing the film because I'm fascinated in stuff like this. And I remember someone walking past and going, "Oh, we got 6 minutes today. That's quite good." And I thought, in a day.
I over it with the old an hour, but yeah, it's not much. But because I'm upstairs playing Frozen Freefall on my phone, waiting to be called down. To be honest.
So what accent do you have in this? Are you a Brummie? Same as Shelby's.
I've got a couple of lines, and it's quite a bit like that, really. All right, and so yes, you'll be down in a minute, and it's quite a gentle, soft twitch.
You get into, and I bet you can't tell us because of spoilers, but you get into any arguments with the Shelbys, or do we have to wait and see?
You have to wait and see. I'm afraid you've only had the one, so it's yes. I can't tell you a thing.
Like what you're listening to? Then don't forget to rate and review the podcast wherever you listen. This is Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
Peaky Blinders is obviously huge, massive. So for you as an actor, what's been your biggest role, and what's been your, I suppose, two questions there. What's been your biggest and what's been your favourite?
I'll say my favourite without a doubt was Tina in Doctors, because that was probably my biggest as well, to be fair, script wise, because she was like the guest artist on that episode, which was great. But to be in Peaky as an actor is such a thrill, such an honor. And also, and I was saying this before we started recording, and I'll say it again, to be a named character as well in Peaky is a big deal, because yes, and there's nothing wrong with being second bloke in bar or head waiter or what, nothing wrong with that at all. Sea captain, great, nothing wrong with that at all. But to have a name, it just makes you feel great. And because when I went into the filming, I was just head butler. And I was fine with that. It's like, well, fine, great, and fantastic. But then they said on Anthony, the director said, "Oh, we're gonna get you a name," and it's like, "Oh, fantastic!" And then a few weeks after it was all finished, they contacted my agent and said, "By the way, just so you know, for any credits, he can call himself George." So, but it's just, and that sounds to anyone that's not in the business, they think, for God's sake, get over yourself. But it is a big deal. You can actually put that on a CV as a named character in something as big as this, and it's a big thing. So yeah, answer to your question, probably my most favourite role I've ever played was Tina, but the biggest role, of course, is this. I reckon, definitely.
Well, you can put it on your IMDb.
Well, yes,
it's not on there yet, but you can put it on your IMDb.
They're a bit behind on IMDb. They've still not put last night's plot on there, have they? So it's in Radio Times and stuff. So yeah, keep watching it. It'll be on there, which would be great. Talking about IMDb, this is again, people are not in the biz will think, for God's sake, you're not saving lives, and you're not. I watched a documentary the other night about the 12 children that got rescued from the caves a few years ago. I don't remember that, and it was amazing. And it's like, at the end I turned to my partner and went, my life has literally no meaning. It really, I get excited because I got excited because on IMDb you have something called a star rating, and it basically means how many people click on your profile, and the lower the number, the bigger star rating you got, i.e. if you're Ryan Gosling, you're 1, or Morgan Freeman, you're 1, if you know what I mean. And about a month ago, I was 10 million. Literally, and I was like 10,560,000. Okay. And about 3 weeks ago, I jumped 9 million to like 1 million something. It's like, I've jumped 9 million. and my partner's like, right. And then I've jumped another 500, another 5. I'm up to 200,000 now. It's getting very exciting.
Oh wow!
I know.
But does that bring things with it? Have you been contacted more for work or?
Yeah, well, it will for a while, I hope, because if I, as and when I apply for work while the series is on, casting directors will check on your IMDb. Oh, what's he been up to? Oh, look, his star rating is such and such. So it gives you a bit of kudos. Of course, once the last episode's gone, straight back down to 10 million, but until it's shown on Netflix, and it'll go up again. But yeah, it's a fascinating. It's such a fickle industry I work in. It really is. It's awful, but
so excited though. So excited.
You know what? I got the week I was filming. It was great. I got picked up every morning with my own car, because of pandemic, we all got our own car. So I had my own driver all week. I got my own little trailer. People came and said, do you want coffee? Do you want tea? Do you want breakfast? Yes, I do. And then you go and sit in a chair while Chris does your hair for an hour and a half. It's great.
So, I mean, you've obviously had that. You've had that now, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Again, Darren and Ian are giddy about it. I can't wait to see it and go to my wife. I know, Steph. So what's next for you? What's in the diary? Because I know obviously you and I, Steph, have spoken about the murder mystery.
Yes,
never got back to me about that, to be honest. We'll talk about that. But in terms of
there's no bookings at the moment.
In terms of I'm free, I'm available. In terms of you, what's next for you? What's the next big thing?
Well, when it's out, as the series continues, I'll be doing an awful lot of writing to people, talking to my agent and seeing what happens. And anything and everything, to be honest. I've been doing self-tapes non-stop, which has been great. And sadly, they just often don't hit home. I've had a couple of heavy pencilers when they really like you and they're considering you, but there's 2 or 3 of you in the running and they decide, oh, that one. So that's what heavy pencil means. So I've had a few of those, but and sadly, I'm doing some filming in a couple of weeks for some corporate sitcoms, which will be great fun, which aren't available to the public, just to corporate to businesses. But yeah, and we'll see what happens, to be honest, and we'll see what happens. But it's all networking. I mean, the people I got to work with were just phenomenal. I mean, the episode you saw last night, I got to work with Natasha, who plays Lizzie, and Sophie, who plays Ada, and it couldn't have been the nicest, most supported people I've ever met. They just said, there we are, you can see that. Yes, so Sophie's in the red and Natasha's in the black and gold, so that's Lizzie in the black and gold and Sophie in the you saw that. And that's
I'm definitely watching it.
No, they were brilliant. They were just so lovely. They were so lovely, and it's just chatting and going back to Tina, Natasha, who plays Lizzie, Tommy's wife. We were talking in one of the later scenes in the series, you'll see, and I've got another story about that in a sec. What have you been doing? What have you been up to? And I told her about Tina. She thought it was the most funniest thing in the world. She was Tina Biscuit. She could go, Tina Biscuit, Tina Biscuit, Tina Biscuit. And that became her warm-up, Tina Biscuit, Tina Biscuit, Tina Biscuit. She kept doing that in the corner. And then Killian said, what are you doing? He said, oh, he played a drag called Tina Biscuit. You played a drag called Tina Biscuit. Like, yeah, it's like we took this 4-way conversation about Tina. It's like,
oh, Tina was there with you.
Tina was there. The cow gets everywhere. She's a bitch. But talking about the accent before, Daz, you were saying, again, this sounds very lovely, and forgive anyone that's listening think, God, actors are bloody lovely. But there's a scene later on in the series where I have to serve a lot of wine at a dinner table. Okay, and there's lots of guests, and I can't tell you who's around the table. But there are lots of guests around there, and I had to get round on certain points. So I was pouring one character's wine. I had to stop at a certain line, go off camera, go underneath some cables, go round a boom operator, then be there ready as the camera's panning. So I was doing that, but I was running around the outside, which is great fun, and I had to pour Natasha's, and I kept slightly dribbling it on the table. It was red wine, and you didn't see it. It was I was twisting it in front, but 1 or 2 drops would always hit the tablecloth. It didn't matter because it was never seen, because I checked and said, oh no, we don't see this tablecloth. So I kept doing it, and like on the 3rd or 4th take, and it's like, and Killian just leaned in, and sorry about that, and he just leaned in when the camera wasn't running. Went, do that again, I'll bury you in the garden. But it's like,
more.
You up? Yes, he could have had me there and then, to be honest. But yeah,
Was that an ad lib he did for a bit of fun with you?
oh no, yeah, he wasn't filmed. Sadly, he was just he just did it to threaten me because he wanted. I think he wanted to alleviate because I was getting really like stressed about it. Oh God, so yeah, do that again. I'll bury you in the garden. It's like, there you go.
Wow.
I'm threatened by Tommy Shelby. That's all I care.
Moving away a little bit from Peaky Blinders, what would happen next? So you kind of answered it a little bit when Damian said what's coming next in your diary, but how does it all kind of work? Do casting directors and show producers go, oh, the butler in Peaky Blinders, let me look at the credits, look for your name, and then try and find you? Or how does it all work?
Well, no, yeah. Once it's out, once it's all done and dusted, the series, I can go off and get a few clips from it if I want, and I'll put those clips into my what we call a show reel, and that is clips of different things I think would show me in different characters. So on my show reel at the moment, obviously Tina's on there. I've got a Sergeant Major I did. I've got various other...
Hound of the Baskervilles, is that on there?
Hound of the Baskerville? No, that's not on there because I didn't survive very long enough. That was a very long time ago, and I played a prison warder that drowns in a bog. And when the film came out, because I was all very excited, they go, "Oh yeah, you're the opening sequence of the movie." It's like, "Oh my God, fantastic!" I discovered my death was to cover the credits. Literally, I was there so they could put John Nettles' name over my death. So that's what I was all about.
Remember when we were doing Hospital Radio together, you sort of, because it was 2002 that was, Down to the Baskervilles. And I remember you sort of coming out, I've done this. And I watched it and I was like, is that it?
Yeah,
That's you there.
Yeah, I am dead by 6 minutes in. That's it. I'm done.
But you still get a check for it every so often.
I used to. Yes, not anymore. Sadly, they've got less and less and less and less. But so I'll make a show reel, Daz, and hopefully when people will see that, and that goes back to what I said earlier about being a name. Because they'll go, okay, George, and they'll see hopefully on IMDb. Oh, you had 3 episodes. Oh, okay, so it's stuff like that, and that's what will happen now. I'll just have to sell my arse as much as I can, so to speak, and see what comes next. I mean, it's a big deal being in Peaky, which is lovely. So I should say I have nothing sadly to talk about. I wish I did, but not yet, sadly.
So I'm looking on your IMDb,
yes,
and you've got a film, Dear Hangman.
Dear Hangman. Oh, yes, that's coming out soon. The premiere of that is on the 19th of March. That's great. Independent movie by Recognition Films. And it's a sequel to a horror thriller noir type thing called Hangman. And it's a sequel to that. And I play a prison. I own a prison in that. And the prison commissioner, or whatever you call him. So yes, I can't say much about that obviously yet again, but the premiere of that's going to be in the Midlands actually on the 19th of March. I can't make it sadly, but so hopefully that'll be available. I'll let you know when and where you can see that. But yeah, that's coming out soon. But again, that's taken 3 years to come out because of the pandemic. That should have come out I think April 2020. I filmed it in 2019.
So obviously, talking to the pandemic, you as an actor,
yes.
The acting world and the entertainment world was very heavily hit during the pandemic. Yes. There was very little help out there for actors, people that work in the theatre, the backstage people, the camera crews, all of that. There was very little help because you were self-employed and it wasn't a skilled labour, I think they said at one point.
Yes.
How did you find that? Because obviously your work, your life, your livelihood is being out there and acting, be that if it's you're doing the murder mysteries, the stuff at the schools, the theatre, but TV, whatever.
Yeah.
How did you find it when it suddenly went from busy to nothing and no help?
Literally nothing. Yeah, well, some of us got help, but not many of us did. It was awful. I'm not gonna even go, oh, it's all right, bit of a laugh. But no, I mean, a lot of people think actors rest all the time. They don't. And it was really horrible. I mean, I had a year's bookings talking about just murders. I mean, I was solid for the whole of 2020, and overnight gone, because we all thought at the start it was only be 6 months, didn't we? So all my bookings from October onwards, October and Christmas 2020, they were like, yeah, it'll be fine. Oh, yeah, that's still on. Well, of course, it didn't happen. So it was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, it's sad to have been in the business so long and then get to that point and realize that you really are not useful in any way, shape, or form to society. It was like, okay, but we all had an argument at the time, all actors, because they weren't helping them as much as they should. It's like all the politicians, I'm not going to get too heavy, don't worry, but they were all going home and watching Netflix and Amazon Prime and doing that, and it's like, well, they're full of actors. But no, it wasn't easy, so you have to find other things to do. So yeah, that's when Tina came out. Obviously Tina was on Doctors in May of the lockdown and stuff, and then a couple of months later someone mentioned you should do something with her, so that's when I started doing the regular quizzes, and that's where she now is bigger than me. So I started doing like one man murders, recording them and selling them as a product. And I shot a horror movie. Have I ever shown you that, or sent you the link?
No.
I will send you the link. You can share it with your viewers and listeners. And I started finally. I had an idea for a film, and I started writing a film script, which I've only literally 2 weeks ago finally finished. So yeah. So
what is it?
I'm not telling anyone. only my partner Lisa knows what it's about, and she gave me, because I was dragging my feet with it, as everyone does. Of course they do. They drag your feet with everything. So she said, right, I'm giving you a deadline to finish this film, and she gave me last Saturday to finish writing it. And we went out for dinner, and I handed her the script over the table, and yeah, so I finally finished it. So 90 pages later. So yes, no one knows apart from her at the moment. So you never know. Hopefully you get to know soon. But yes, so that's done. So yeah, so it wasn't easy. It was really hard. The strangest thing was, sorry, am I talking too much? You must say.
No, you're fine. Shut up.
Yes, sorry, everybody. I'll do some voices in a minute. Don't worry. The funny thing was, when I did film Peaky, I did the 5 days in last February of filming it. And then the following Monday, I went back to my casual cash in hand job of delivering wreaths for a local florist. So that's another job. Another job I was doing while in lockdown. I went around to a florist and said, do you need any help? And she went, well, funny enough, and sorry to get dark on people for a minute, wreaths are going really well at the moment. And because I've got an estate car, I basically, for cash in hand, I delivered wreaths. And I finished filming with Killian on a Friday. The Monday morning, I was delivering wreaths. So it's the juxtaposition of my.
But that is such the life of an actor, and I find when people slag off people from EastEnders who are now working in Tesco or something, they've got to earn a living. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So actors, can earn a chunk sometimes, but then that goes so
then
far.
Then they're out for work for years.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to say I got paid well for Peaky. I'm not going to lie, but it came after a year of not working. Not earning at all, and I didn't get a furlough. So yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Damon. But yeah, you're right. So it was a tough year and a bit. So yeah,
but it's great that you got through it. And I mean, in terms of you've mentioned your partner a lot, and I've seen a lot of bits on social media. You two are just so loved up. It's lovely. So is she involved in this business? Is she completely something else, or what does your partner do?
She would rather lose every single limb and most of her hair than step foot on stage. I mean, she truly,
sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. She really, no, not at all. I mean, she was amazing. When we got the invite to the cast and crew screening, she was like, "Oh no!" I said, "I'd love you to come," and she loved it. She was nice. Oh, this is Lisa, and she was like, but she's definitely behind every man is a stronger woman, and she is it. And she's definitely behind me, or and that's where she's happy to be in off camera. I mean, but she's not. But saying that, she is a phenomenal artist. She is extraordinarily brilliant artist, and
that's what she does. Is that her job?
She owns her own graphic design company, Lawn Creative, and
she's the breadwinner. There's the money coming in. I tell you.
Well, yeah. Couldn't
take a year off. Why don't you? Okay, then I will.
But yeah, she's amazing. She's incredible, and Ned as well. Her boy. He's a performer, but he doesn't want to be. But he's a natural performer, and he's going to be a YouTube millionaire. So if everyone could follow his YouTube channel, Aximoff, that would be great.
You see, that's the thing though now, isn't it? younger. I sound so old. The youth,
Young'uns.
the young'uns are all on YouTube and TikTok. But it is a genuine career for you. You can make money off being a YouTuber. Whereas back in our day, we'd be like, what are you talking about? You talk onto a camera by yourself on the internet, you edit. What are you doing? But they make millions. It's a valid career path.
There's that Asian little lad, isn't there? Ryan.
Ryan's Toy Review.
Yeah, my daughter loves him.
He's the second biggest.
Same as mine.
Multi-millionaire by the time he was 8 or something.
Yeah, he's the second biggest YouTuber in the world, and he earns 10-figure salary. He earns like high 7-figure salaries every year just
the
from
kids
doing
love
YouTube.
it.
Oh,
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Steph, thank you so much for joining us.
It's all right. Pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. You can watch Peaky Blinders Series 6. It's on Sunday nights, 9 o'clock, BBC One for the next 5 weeks. It'll be on the BBC iPlayer. You can watch the whole past 5 series of it as well to catch up. Go and watch it because it's one of the best British shows around. That and Killing Eve, which has also started soon.
Yes, that's back again, isn't it?
That's back again soon. That's brilliant.
It's the final series, but there might be a big movie, so watch this.
And you could be in the movie.
I'm not saying a thing.
Ooh. Steph, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We will see you again in some guise, probably around Christmas for a big special.
Probably.
Steph.
Better than that. Would you come back in a few weeks' time when the series is all done and then talk to us about the surprises that may be coming up in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I'd love to. We'll do a retrospective about it all. Yeah,
No. We've had you on now. That's it now.
Yeah, I know. I realise that. Yeah. Well,
okay, Steph. Me and you will do our own then.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that guy is anyway.
When you're in your next big thing, you can come back on because we need the clout. Basically, that's the only reason we got you on, Steph. To be fair.
Oh, is that the reason? I might.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I need you to share all this on your platforms.
As long as you do a decent screen grab of me when you put, this is the guest, because normally you get me like that, and I want a decent screen grab. I don't want. In fact, I'll send you a picture to use. Don't use any of this because this lighting is terrible.
I will use your official headshots that you put on all of your profiles.
Yeah, because this isn't nice.
Oh, BA.
Steph, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Well done. Brilliant.
It's all about him.
These Three Media. 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.
Thank you very much to Steph for being on the show. Lovely person. I've known him for years. Haven't seen him in person for years, but he's just brilliant.
What, 4 years?
No, in years. Haven't seen him in person.
You've known him for 4 years.
No, I've known him 4 years. Not
here we
number
go.
4. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for many years.
Oh, God, it's like 4 candles.
4 candles. 4 candles.
You know what? Steph is family to this show, and what an amazing overall person, and I wish him every success. That was such an interesting interview. So glad he was on the show. And you can watch Peaky Blinders every Sunday evening. Go and watch it. Damien, I challenge you to watch at least the first couple of series. It's really worth. You can binge watch the whole thing and you'll get the best because it's just. I just said I will. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so last week in the show, which was probably one of our best shows in a while, I thought it was a very good show. I did mention that I might be getting a new car. I have actually test driven the new car, and by the time this goes out, I would have brought the new car, and I will be driving the new car. Really stunning. And I'm not a red fan, but do you know what? My wife has got a red car, which is nowhere near like yours, but it is lovely. Really, really nice, Ian. Darren, do you want to have a look at the said car?
No, I'm not really bothered looking at it because obviously Damien and you have had a separate chat where you've put the picture on it. I've not seen this.
Oh, do you want to know why? Do you want to know why, Darren?
Is it on the group chat?
Yes. Do you want to know why? Actually, let's know. I've got a new car. It's very nice. It's a sporty car. I wasn't going to bring this up today. However, I messaged you. I texted you individually, and I said to you individually, let me just get the message up. I said to you, hi, I know you have notifications turned off, so I have sent a message on the Facebook messages, have a read and let me know. Didn't even reply to that. Not even to a personal message to you. Not the group chat. One I sent to your number. Not to Damien, to you. You couldn't even be asked to send a message back to say, okay, mate, I'll have a look. And then not even reply to it. You're rude. And I'm being quite angry here. You are rude.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
What I would say is Steph's only on a dial, because at the end of the day, we don't need to change the name of the company. We don't need to change the name of the show, because all we do is we just axe you. And it's still 3 men. Do you know what I mean? But it's just Steph instead. We haven't even got your photo now on the artwork. So carry on this and you'll be gone.
I think that was rude because you didn't even reply to my individual text to you.
You timed it wrong. I was driving and I saw it and I went, right, I need to reply to that quick group chat message, and then I'm driving again. And, anyway, I do apologise. I stand moving on. Yes.
Thanks so much for listening to 3 Men and a Microphone. I hope you enjoyed it. Go and watch Peaky Blinders Sunday nights, BBC One, 9 o'clock, or you can watch it on the iPlayer. Look out for Steph because he's fabulous. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you. Little teaser for next week's episode, by the way.
Yes, go on.
I'm going to see John Bishop at the weekend.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Live on stage. So I'll tell you all about that next week.
Darren, can I just quickly, I just want to pick up. Can you just show your nails?
Oh.
Can you just show your hand? No,
There's a story here.
No, just show your hand. Why are they so long? That is weird.
Oh, that's
wrong.
There's a story here.
Oh,
do you want the story? Stop the music then. Start. Do you want the story?
Go on then.
I used to bite my nails a lot. I used to get infections. We used to go green and painful. You had to squeeze the gunk out of it. So it
was such a sweaty munter. Honestly.
So I decided, do you know what? I'm just going to let them grow and stop biting. And I quite like the idea that I can.
No, it's just, I'm sorry, it's wrong. And if you want to have long nails, that's fine, but it's wrong. No,
Darren, they're going to have bits of poo in.
Yeah.
No, well, they do taste like they've got ink in them, but no.
No, cut them. It's weird.
Because I do that.
No, it's cut them. Cut them. It's
mouth.
Weird. Oh. You freak. That's horrible.
Munter.
Oh, get some nail clippers. I noticed it when Steph was talking because I suddenly thought, has he got really long nails? And it's like, no, it's weird. No, my nails are nice and short. It's just,
Did you see him roll a bogey as well?
Oh, yeah, and then flick it.
Why did he roll it?
I can pet my spots and everything.
Oh, no.
Dirty pig.
Damien, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hopefully, during this hour, we've brought some sunshine into your life. And we shall see you again next week for more unpredictable conversation.
We will indeed. And we've got some more special guests coming up over the next couple of weeks as well. So keep tuned, subscribe and follow. And next week, we may be talking to you about something to do with the subscription side of it that we might be launching that you can help support the podcast. But we'll let you know about that next week. Until then, yes, Damien.
And potentially maybe the biggest thing this show has ever done. So potentially that will be discussed as well next week. So join us, listen, download. Yes!
It's great, it's good, it's unpredictable. It's out every Monday on your podcast feed. Share it with your friends and enjoy. We hope you enjoyed today's show. 3 Men and a Microphone has been a These 3 Media production. Until next week, look after yourself, stay safe. Everything will be fine. The world will carry on, hopefully. Until then, bye-bye.
Yes.
Oh, you make me sick. I had to do nothing here. Right.
Lucky if Colin gets a card, to be fair.
And she rims me fantastic.
God, I need to go for that. There's the clip.
Oh, wow.
That is definitely going in. And the unedited version. Right, here we go.
These 3 Media. 3 Men and a Microphone podcast.